Hey guys, welcome to another Texas Bolt Action Battle Report. I'm here today for an extremely special battle. I know that I've been hyping it, I've been talking about it, and it's going to be happening a little bit later today. But we are going to be doing the Battle of El Guettar on this beautiful 6x12 mat. The mat was made by Dave Skibicki. I made the mountains. The Germans are going to be pushing down that road to try and eliminate the Americans from their defenses. Over here we've got the 1st Infantry Division and elements of the 3rd Infantry Division, which were provided by Stephen Wilson. And meanwhile over here though, the Americans have amassed some artillery, and Patton is observing the battle from his little command post over here. And we also have the 601st Tank Destroyer Battalion forwardly deployed, ready to take on the Germans and absorb some of the damage from the German thrust. And they are closely being followed up by a couple of the brand new M10 Tank Destroyers that the Army has just created. So the Germans are going to be pushing on and trying to avoid minefields and barbed wire to try and take out the American infantry. And they also have a secondary objective of trying to secure this road down here. I do just want to take a quick minute to just say a huge thank you to the Texas Bolt Action community. I was really surprised and honored today to receive the Barela Award, which is just an award that goes to people that are into the hobby and furthering it and trying to get other people into it. Just, you know, bolt action is something I love, and I love getting other people into it. So it's really great when you have a really fantastic community that cares enough to recognize that kind of stuff. So I just want to say a huge thanks to them, and I'm sure next year I'll be passing this award along to somebody else. But yeah, I was just very surprised and very honored. So thank you so much, guys. It means a whole lot. And we do have a really great community because, as you will see in this battle today, there's going to be a lot of models that were painted by other members of our community and are going to be used in the battles. So I'll go ahead and I think I'll begin with what the Germans have. I'll give you a little look at the battlefield here. Also, I should say up front that there is no way I'm going to be able to narrate pull for pull what happens in this battle. So with each turn, I'm not even sure if we're going to get to the end of the battle, it's so large, but after each turn I'll just try to give kind of a general overview of what happened, and I think it's still going to be really exciting. It's going to be very riveting. So yeah, anyway, just a disclaimer there. But the Germans are organized in 3 Kampfgroups, as it were. We've got this first Kampf group, the black dice group, is going to be kind of the main infantry thrust. There's going to be 2 squads of infantry. One will be in an Opel Blitz, and I actually might swap that out so that one of them is in a half track and put the Opel Blitz in a different Kampf group. But there's also a Panzer III, a Panzer IV, a flak tractor that's got a quad flak gun on it, and then we've got a Tiger 1, one of the original Tiger 1s, and these 3 tanks back here were all painted by Nate Edmund, really good painter in our community. And then of course I'm sure you recognize the ones that were used to sponsor the game by Warlord. So over here I've got some infantry, some of Casey Pitman's infantry. I should also mention that this infantry is also Nate Edmund's, so really nicely painted stuff. But anyway, we've got Casey Pitman's infantry here. I've got they're going to be loaded up in this half track. We've got a 222 from Casey, Panzer III from me, and Panzer IV. We've got a Tiger 1, and then this group, since they have fewer dice, they're going to get this Lorraine Scheffler that's got a heavy howitzer on it, so that ought to be able to even some of the odds that the Germans have facing them. Meanwhile, over here, whoever is in this group is going to have the officer team in the half track 250-10 new. And we've got another infantry squad that will be supporting him. And then we also have a 222 painted by Nate, a couple of Casey's tanks, Tiger 1, and a Panzer IV with a light howitzer instead of a heavy AT gun, and a Panzer III with a medium AT gun as well. So that is everything that the Germans have that they're going to be making this thrust with. So they get a lot of toys. It's going to be very tough for them to get across the lines, but hopefully they have fun doing it. The Americans are going to have a little bit of support of armor that's not going to be able to come on until turn 3. I've got each one divided up evenly, and they all have a M3 Stuart, M4 Sherman, as well as a M4 Sherman. Did I already say? I said M3 Lee, M4 Sherman, and M3 Stuart. It's kind of crazy with the Americans' naming conventions. And over here we've got elements of the 1st Infantry dug in. 8 infantry squads. Two of those are going to be supporting engineer squads. Those are Stevens squads, and they are from the 3rd Infantry Division. So they've been sent over probably to help lay the mines and set up the barbed wire. So they're going to, they're going to be taken off guard. So they're going to end up participating in this battle. Got a couple of machine gun emplacements here and here, and of course we've got all the scatter terrain from Frontline Games. So that looks really nice on this table. There's 1, 2, let's see, 3, and then over here on the flank 4 squads from the Big Red 1 division, Terry Allen's Big Red 1. And then they're supported by a mortar position. There is an officer dug in here at the top, and there is a medic. And what I'm going to do is tell the players that's first come, first serve. If they feel like they need an officer or a medic to help them in the battle, then they can, instead of activating one of their other units, they can activate the officer. So if we've got another unit that's not really doing anything, then they can, run him down the hill to help out some infantry or something like that. And then there's also a artillery observer here, as well as an artillery observer over here on this hill with Patton's HQ. So the Americans have a ton of massed artillery. As you can see, there's also a couple of artillery emplacements here on the mountainside, a 105 howitzer and another M2A1 105 howitzer over here. The trucks are just for decoration. And then there's also an M3 Wyatt scout car from Trenchworx, as I mentioned earlier, supporting these Company B M3 half-track tank destroyers with a 75mm gun. So the battlefield is set up very, very much like the actual battle. In this scale, you never can get distance to equal what it ought to. I mean, this was really fought over a valley that's miles wide, and it's hard to do that in 56mm scale. It'd probably take up this entire room if I wanted to do it accurately. But what you're going to get is a very kind of simplified version of the battle that sort of captures all of the events that did happen. The M10 Tank Destroyers are deployed a little bit further back here because they were a little later to the action. They were kind of as reinforcements. The armor's going to come on later because the armor didn't actually participate in the main battle. They were just part of the thrust, the counterattack afterwards. But we want to make sure we get them on the table, so they'll be coming in the middle of the game. But the positions are roughly what you would have seen, and of course we have George Patton up here just observing the whole thing. And we might even get a couple of really well-known movie quotes in there. So anyway, I'm going to get back to you after the players get here and after we begin the battle. Basically, the deployment has already happened. The Germans will just be coming on the table to start turn 1. They have to come on between those 2 dice right there. So it's going to be very, very tough for the Germans to kick off the game. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and play turn 1, and we will let you know how it goes. So stay tuned. Oh, you know what? Actually, I just realized there's going to be a preliminary bombardment. So we'll get back after that to show the results of that. Okay, stay tuned. Thanks. All right, guys, we are back after the end of turn one. I said there was going to be a preliminary bombardment, but I forgot that the Germans are actually they were just going to leave everything off the table and come in on turn one. So we went in and played turn one, and as you can see, the Germans have taken the field with everything nearly. Infantry is in the half-tracks and the trucks, but they've all gone down. So I can't really do a blow-by-blow account, but what I can tell you is at the beginning of the game, these Tigers were some of the first tanks on the table. They took shots at all of these vehicles over here, but they also received a lot of pins. No hits on the Tank Destroyers. Everything's good to go so far, and the M10s are moving up to support them. So we're going to have a little tank battle over here. A couple pins on one pin on this Tank Destroyer, but the Tigers are also very pinned. One Tiger, though, unloaded its main gun on this howitzer and knocked it right out on a 6-on-6 shot. So demolished the crew. So the Americans are definitely down one howitzer. Meanwhile, over here, with the main body, they came on the tanks first, followed by the infantry and the half-tracks. Triggered an ambush with the medium AT gun, and definitely put 2 pins on this guy. He also received fire from the medium howitzer over here. Also put a couple pins. Not a whole lot going on with the infantry right now. Mortar fired at the Lorraine Schleppler that you see on the very edge of that table over there, and it did the same to this vehicle right here. And right now they're both ranged in on a 5. Most of this infantry over here ended up going down, so not a lot happened there. But we do have 2 artillery strikes. This observer unit definitely can see those tanks out there, and this observer unit over here both called in identical artillery strikes on the main body. You can see the 2 stars. Those represent where the artillery strike will be coming in if it comes in. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll let you know how it goes. So stay tuned. All right, we are back. The artillery strike definitely came in. Both of them came in. And as you can see now, we've got some utter chaos. We actually ran out of pins, so we started using dice. But pretty much every single vehicle in this pile took some form of pin damage. One of the Panzer IIIs was completely knocked out. The Opel Blitz took a direct hit, and 3 of its inhabitants were killed. So they hopped out, and they're also pinned. Meanwhile, the Tigers came out unscathed because both artillery strikes are over here. But it looks like the main thrust of the Germans has been severely halted. There's going to definitely be some rallying going on this next turn. So we're going to go ahead and play turn 2, and we will let you know what happens. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back after turn 2, and Germans have spent most of this turn trying to rally, and they've been pretty successful. There's only a few tanks that still have pins on them. They were also able to rally the infantry inside of those vehicles. Meanwhile, over here, the Tigers weren't able. A couple of Tigers went down. One was able to fire but missed. Actually, I think both Tigers missed their shots. The half-tracks have been doing their best to pin them, but the 222 did get taken out by the scout car with a heavy machine gun, which is cool. These M10s have kind of gotten into the fight a little bit. They managed to put some pins on that left Tiger over there. Meanwhile, this particular half-track failed its orders test and had to reverse. So that's kind of what's going on there. The howitzer fired, missed. Mostly over here, infantry's been going down. Hasn't really had a reason to get into the fight. This gun was hit. Who hit this gun right here?
The quad.
The flak gun. Okay, so the flak 36 over here on the back of that tractor hit this AT gun and killed all but one man. So he's pinned and at a -1 to hit now. So the Lorraine Schlepper was also completely wiped out by the mortar, which was a pretty good shot by the mortar over here on the hill. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and continue this turn. Still got George Patton up here surveilling all the damage. The Germans took a shellacking with that artillery, but they've got a lot of metal, and it looks like they're going to be able to at least press the attack. But in this next turn, we've got the U.S. armor eligible to come on, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. So we're going to go ahead and play turn 3, and we'll let you know what happens. So stay tuned. Okay guys, we are back after turn 3. The game's moving along at a good clip, and as you can see, the Germans are starting to break through the barbed wire. The tanks have already led the way. The half-tracks cleared a little bit of this barbed wire, avoiding the minefield. Infantry's bringing up the rear. They've already unloaded a little bit of infantry, and they're pushing up onto these American positions up here on the craggy hills. They did take a lot of fire. The Americans did fire some small arms with these half-tracks and managed to put some pins on them, but they were able to, some of them were able to rally. Bazooka advanced forward, fired at this tank with the howitzer, and managed to catch it on fire. They were able to put out the fire. Meanwhile, over here, this Tiger was able to score a victory on that M10, completely knocked it out. A lot of vehicles fired, a lot of vehicles missed, except for this one Tiger that was taken out, and this flak gun was taken out by the howitzer positioned over here. So I like how there's 2 battles going on. We have the 601st Tank Destroyer Battalion that's holding out a lot longer than I really thought they would. I really thought they would get knocked out early on. And then over here we have the struggle for the hill. Meanwhile, as you can see, the American armor has started to come on. This Sherman led the charge. First shot took out this Panzer III right here, completely knocked it out. Other tanks came on and fired, but missed. There's a little bit of tank coming on over here. We've got 2 Stuarts and a Lee that are coming around this flank, and there is another Stuart that did not pass its orders test. It's going to be coming on. The mortar fired this half-track and is right now ranged in on a 5, but I believe it has that half-track emptied its contents? The middle half-track there? I think it unloaded. I'm not sure, but if it didn't, then those infantry are going to be taken. But I think. Okay, so that infantry is still inside. So they're still inside. Meanwhile, the Germans have tried to get a few more rallies here and there. There was one that was failed on this particular tank right here, so it's keeping its pins. And we still have Patton up here observing the battle, just making sure everything's going according to his plan. Although we haven't had cause for the quote, you goddamn son of a bitch, I've read your book yet, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and play turn 4, and we're going to let you know how it goes. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back after turn 4, and this is actually going to be our final turn. After some deliberation, it was decided that the Germans really don't have what it takes to get to the hill. So just as what happened in the actual battle, the Germans are going to be reversing and beating back a retreat. Basically, stuff that happened is a whole lot of German vehicles took more hits from the Shermans. The Americans were able to just kind of run the dice bag, get those shots. The infantry tried to push up, but it was just kind of a quagmire over here, and they took a lot of fire from the men over here. And their commander drove right up in this half-track and took shots after the bazooka had fired and taken out this Panzer IV right here. So lots of carnage, lots of destruction over here. I told the guys that were playing that this was definitely a historical result. The only thing that wasn't historical is that these tank destroyers actually survived the battle, and they actually managed to take out a lot of these Tigers. So it was. I think this is definitely the pivotal battle that got played out over here. It definitely was up to these tank destroyers to kind of ward off the big cats from the main assault, and they did just that. So well done to them. Meanwhile, Patton is still up here. I mean, he's very happy about what's happened today. He's saying, "Rommel, you goddamn son of a bitch, I read your book." And let's see, I think that's pretty much it, guys. We did have a Sherman foobar and have to go back to the back of the table there. We also, I think that's pretty much all that happened. The scout car was going to redirect itself and kind of start getting into battle over here. Not a whole lot else except for just, like I said, the 222 was taken out by one of these, by the Lee, I believe. I know that Tiger did fire at the Lee and it actually missed a shot. This Panzer III was actually taken out by one of those Shermans. So, yep, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this battle. I do have special thanks that I've saved to the end. I want to thank Nathan Edmund for giving me these, or loaning us these beautifully painted DAC soldiers and tanks, and I'd like to thank Casey Pitman for also helping us out. And I'd also like to thank Oscar Barela. He let us have one of those howitzers. I think that's the one that survived over here. That's Oscar's heavy howitzer that did well. And I'd also like to thank Stephen Wilson for loaning those engineers from the 3rd Infantry Division to kind of help out the 1st Infantry Division. Dave Skibicki made the game mat. Special thanks to him, and then once again, I just want to thank our awesome sponsors for this game, Trenchworx, Warlord Games, Company B, and Frontline Games for that amazing terrain. I definitely recommend Frontline Games. They've got some really good-looking minefields, and they also did all these craters. And I did a shout-out video for them earlier, so you can check that out to kind of see what I have to say about that stuff. Anyway, yep, I hope to get more battle reports out for you guys soon. I'm already thinking of stuff I can do with this terrain, and hopefully we'll have one up really soon. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.